Okay, shall we start with the opening speech?
Yes.
Okay, everybody please mute your
Mute
microphone.
yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Cheryl, I mute you also.
Okay.
Hi everyone. So thanks everyone. I think there's 51 of you all here. Thanks for taking your time out from dinner. Or if you're eating dinner now, that's fine as well. So I'm Gwen. I'm the chairperson of SGGA, Singapore Games Association. And if you all haven't heard the recent news, we have recently been official. Yay! Own self clap own self, because this is an online conference, so I can't hear your clap, but yay. Okay. So I think if you all know about Singapore Games Guild, right? We started out as a grassroots non-profit organization that deals mostly with events and initiatives, but that part hasn't changed in terms of SGGA. We've just expanded, we've changed the name, we've expanded our scope into something a little bit more. I will elaborate a bit of that, but we go to the next slide. Yep. So our vision has changed to be more of a trade association. So the reason why we changed our name to SGGA with the association is to let people know, especially civil servants or government or other associations, to know that we are indeed a legit association, because I think a lot of people didn't understand the word guild, especially if they're not from the industry. So our main vision is to uplift our expertise as a gaming industry and for Singapore gaming brand to be globally recognized. And then our mission is to build and support a sustainable games ecosystem and also be the bridge that connects Singapore games industry worldwide. And our objectives is capability development, organize programs and initiatives to raise the professional skill set and community engagement. So this part is no different from SGG, and also to network both local and international gaming associations and link our locals up to people that are working internationally in the games industry. So for example, we do stuff like link up local game companies with overseas investors and just make them get to know each other and expand outside of Singapore. Next. Okay, so last time in SGG, it was just me, Cheryl, and Don Bay. So Don Bay has since moved on to join ESG, but now we have a bigger executive community. The reason why it's so big, because unlike SGG, we have expanded our scope to esports. So right now, SGGA covers both game dev and esports. So we have me as chairperson, Alicia, who also runs GameStart, as vice chairperson, Brian as our treasurer. So I told you about Masquerada just now. Brian also did Masquerada and is now running Esprit. Jave, who runs Resurgence, who's our secretary. Kevin, also part of Elephant, who's an EXCO member, esports. And Karen from Facebook, as well as Emmanuel from Ubisoft. So these form our core executive committee. And yeah, I know it looks like, how come we have so many advisors, more than our committee? But there's a reason for this, because we are considered quite new compared to the other gaming associations worldwide. So all these really, really amazing people, advisors, are there to help us out in terms of like pointing us to the right direction and advising us on whether it's about esports or game dev or even peripherals and the other hardware like Secret Lab and Armageddon. And of course, we have for the first time, we have paid staff. So we welcome Cheryl Chong, our project manager. Yay! So by the way, because the rest of us aren't getting paid, this is voluntary as with associations go. So yes, so we finally can do a lot more work than previously. Next. Yeah, so I think just now some of y'all were curious about what kind of events that we do. I'll go through them one by one. We have Game Dev Drink Up, which is our monthly social gathering. So there's no agenda except to meet up and chat and meet new people. Recently we've been not holding it because of COVID, but before COVID struck, we held it at this place called Bounty Arena, which is great. So as I mentioned, it doesn't just sell alcohol, it sells very affordable bubble tea and snacks. So it remains an inclusive space for everyone, even if you don't drink, right? So the next one is Indie Soapbox. Now, Indie Soapbox is a new initiative because of COVID. So Indie Soapbox is a monthly thing that allows people that either have no experience presenting or very little experience presenting about their game to present about their projects on Zoom and receive feedback from viewers. So it's more of training them. And so when COVID is lifted, we will eventually combine Game Dev Ring Up and Indie Soapbox. So when people come down to socialize, they can also come down for the purpose of seeing what new games there are out there. We also organize game jams. So some of y'all, I know it's really, really cool that right after the game jam, you come down for this conference. So thanks for that. Heritage Game Jam is organized by myself and the Saga Kaya team, which includes Jedi and Jewel. Both of them are DigiPen grads, but really, really passionate in trying to bring attention to art games or letting the public acknowledge games as an art form rather than just entertainment. So hopefully, after all the amazing games are made from this game jam, people can pick them up and NAC can recognize us, etc. etc. We also took part, it's not listed here, but we also took part in the Rising Sea initiative, which is a game jam between Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia. So that one is over. Also amazing works that happened there. Last year we held roundtables and fireside chats. So roundtables is a very select few group of people that are getting together to discuss about a topic. So the picture here is about VR games. And this is hopefully encourages people to think beyond what they learn at work or beyond what they learn in school. And after the roundtable is done, we upload the recordings online. So you can find some of these on our YouTube page. Fireside chat is more of like indie game post-mortem. So we had like Songbird Symphony come down, we have Redbot Studios come down to actually share their whole process from the start of their game company to publish. And then last year, we also had our first travel and learn program. We sent a bunch of Singaporeans who may or may not be game devs to Malaysia, Level Up KL conference to learn about the industry there. So I think this is really cool because as game developers, we need to know what's happening beyond our bubble of Singapore as well. So that one was great. They had B2B matching. They went to visit Razer in Malaysia. They went to visit also other indie studios. And then finally, this one was, yeah, we can't do this now because of COVID, but we used to do Singapore pavilions, showcasing some of our best Singapore works at trade shows. So this one was at STGCC, and then we also have the Singapore Pavilion at GameStart. Sometimes we also have it at overseas conferences. We were meant to have it. We meant to have it at Gamescom Asia, but that's not happening this year. So moving on. Yeah. So I think one of the most major events that we hold for SGGA is the Industry Day. So the Industry Day, there are a few key components to it. The first one is obviously talks, which is why most of you are here, is to learn from other people about topics. Most of them are one-on-one topics, which is things that people don't learn in school, or even if you are already in the industry, maybe some of these things will still be new to you. The second thing is the portfolio showcase. So this is a chance for students from poly or ITE or uni to come and showcase their works. So this year is a bit different because of COVID. Previously, we had booths for people to try out the games, but this year we have a special section for the people to actually present their games through Zoom and hopefully gain some feedback. And then the third is networking, which is happening tonight, which is our first time doing like a virtual networking as well. So we'll see how that goes. And finally, makan. So I don't know, if you feel up for it after the networking, you can go and makan with your friends. So previous industry days, we've been running this since 2008. The very first one was at NUS Hangar, where we had local devs come down and share the one-on-ones about the games industry. And then we had a little micro presentation of like 5 minutes each of industry experts coming in to tell the story of how they get into game dev. Because I want people to know that there isn't a fixed way to get into game dev. Even if you didn't go to a game dev school, what are the paths for you to get into game dev? So Industry Day 2019, last year, we had Jonathan Blow, who was the designer for Braid and The Witness, to come down and give a talk. So Jonathan Blow was really, really nice. He actually came down and he played all the student portfolio showcase, gave feedback. So that was really cool. We also had a bunch of local speakers who will come and speak to you all as well. And I feel it's important to have a mix, because if it's all international speakers, you all may not see the relevance. If it's all local speakers, you won't be able to meet developers that are not from Singapore. Okay, next. Yes, so I think there's a shout out to Gamescom Asia because we were supposed to work with them very closely this year, but it has been postponed to next year. So y'all can keep a lookout for Gamescom Asia next year from the 14th to 17th October. Okay, so whether you are attendee or you want to apply under our Singapore pavilion or just simply have your own booth, just keep a lookout for it and plan for it, budget for it. Yep. So we have contents here for tonight actually. So a little bit about this year's industry day is that instead of 1 day, it's 1.5 days because we added in esports. So for tonight and tomorrow morning, we are dealing mostly with dev topics. And without further ado, we can go and watch Teddy Diaz's keynote first. And before that, just a note, Teddy Diaz one is pre-recorded. And previously, I think we asked y'all to send in questions for them to answer as well. So Teddy has very kindly answered all of these questions in their talk. So yeah, Teddy, because if Teddy were to come on live, it'll be 4 a.m. So that's not really fair to them. So, so yeah, let's just play the video and enjoy. Let me share my screen.